How's it going? Caitlin here, and welcome to my kitchen for another week of meal prep. Meal prep is a love yourself later activity. You're gonna love yourself when you have 3 meals prepped, ready to go in the fridge. Just makes your week run so much smoother. On this week's menu, we have Bruschetta Pasta, Clubhouse Wraps, and Butternut squash soup. So if that sounds good to you, be sure to grab your prep list. If you don't have your prep list yet, check the description in the video. You'll find your prep list there and everything you need to make things super simple, okay? There are 3 varying levels of prep depending on your level of motivation and possibly how much time you have today. So if you want to get the time to table results you do see in the meal plan, you're gonna wanna go all the way with me to level 3, okay? Let's get started, shall we? So, like many times, I'm going to start with a few things that are in level 3, because level 3 is stuff that's going to do itself while we're doing other things, and that's one of the top secret, not so top secret, ways that we're going to gain back time this week, okay? So, I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to cook a turkey breast. You can skip this step if you are using deli meat turkey, or maybe you're using ready cooked turkey. Do anything that you can to save yourself time and energy if you want to. Cooking your own is going to be more economical. It's also generally more healthy if you're having, cooked turkey breast than deli, but no diet is ever going to be perfect. So be kind to yourself. Do what you're going to do. Yeah, man. Mine's a little frozen. I like to buy when the meat is like, use it today and it'll be 50% off, something like that. That's when I like to buy it. And then I just put it in the freezer and I dig it out on another day. So I do have a cup of water in there as well. I like to pressure cook mine. You could put yours in the air fryer. You could cook it in the oven. You could grill it. You could do whatever you want, really. Just do what works for you. These meal plans are designed to be flexible, to be able to suit your needs. I'm gonna cook some bacon. Do we need a whole pack of bacon? No. Is my family going to eat half this bacon before the day even comes? Yes. If you want to, you could choose to cook the whole thing and then freeze some of it for another day just to make life a little easier in the future. And once again, cook your bacon however you want to, or get ready cooked bacon and save yourself this step too. Honestly, we all know time is at a premium. And P.S., if I seem not quite operating on all cylinders today, I'm having a flare up of something. I don't know what it is. Working on finding out, but I don't know what it is yet. And kind of messing with everything in life. And I guess with chronic conditions and stuff like that, I find meal planning, it's almost especially helpful. Because having meals planned helps you eat better things, it helps you eat healthier, more variety. You can be very intentional about what you're putting into your body. And it saves that stress the day of. I don't find that we talk about with chronic things they go in batches sometimes, it's not like you just have one thing that's going on. Maybe you do. And sometimes it can be something that's very serious, very life-changing. But oftentimes if we have one issue, we often have multiple issues, and then you have a flare of something new and you can't help but think, you're like, is this my new normal? Is this the way it's always going to be? Like, you have to believe that it's temporary and it's just going to be here for a little bit. But sometimes you just think, oh, do I always feel this way now? Which is like, you got to accept it as a possibility, but it's not a fun one. Okay. There we go. So I love cooking my bacon in the bar pan, just in the oven, because it is just the easiest way to do it. Okay. Gonna go back to level 1, okay? So, once again, if you want to save yourself some energy here, you could get yourself, because the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna peel up and chunk up some butternut squash. If you want to, you can buy yourself some butternut squash that is already peeled, already chunked up. If you want to as well, you could just put your butternut squash in a slow cooker or something like that to soften it up for a while before you do anything with it. Or, you know, just go wild. Either one, whatever you want to do. Once again, this is like it's like a choose your own adventure. But if you want to buy it so that it's already done and chunked up and all that, I do not blame you at all. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I was doing my grocery shopping last night, just like, you know what? I kind of want to just get it already cut up. It was just where my head was at last night, and then I looked at the cost of it. I'm like, I'm probably paying double to have it cut up. And I have nice kitchen tools. I have a nice vegetable peeler that will peel the squash, no problem. Like, so it's like, I know I can do it. Save myself a little cash and groceries. It's like anything else with prep. I find prep, the hardest part is getting yourself here to do it. So if you're here to do it, you have made the biggest step already. The rest is just gravy. Okay. So that is all peeled. I do find if I end up buying butternut squash and I buy it frozen, for some reason, I just don't like it as much. Oh, by the way, this thing right here, it's called a crinkle cutter, and it is magic for cutting any of the awkward things. You know, like squash is just, it's an awkward thing to cut, and if you are not feeling your best, like right now I'm feeling quite shaky and stuff, but this makes it so easy and so efficient to cut it and then cut it safely, okay, which is kind of huge. If you want to save the seeds, roast them or something, you are way you got way more patience than I do. Good on you, but you can definitely like take the seeds and roast them, and you do whatever people do with butternut squash seeds. I mean, it wouldn't be any different than pumpkin seeds, right? So if you want to roast them for a while, if you want to check them out, you're my people. Just kidding. I'm not that dedicated. So I'm going to use the crinkle cutter just to cut up all of this. You want to have about 3 cups. more than that, that's okay too. Yeah, if you got more than 3 cups, what you can do is either plan on using some in a side dish this week, or cube it up and freeze it. And then you're gonna have it for another day when you're doing something else with butternut squash, and you won't have to go to the effort that you're going through today, right? That's what it's all about. It's putting in the effort now so we don't have to put in that effort later. And you see, now that I'm chopping this up, I'm like, why would I have bought butternut squash already all chopped up? Like, this isn't hard. Maybe if I didn't have this, because then I'm just attacking something with a big chef's knife. And that sounds kind of dangerous in my current stage. So, the kitchen toys, man, the kitchen toys make all the difference in the world. So, definitely gonna have more than 3 cups here. Okay, here we go. So, I'm gonna take the rest that's there, and I'm just gonna throw that in a freezer bag, toss it in the freezer, and then I have it ready. I just saved myself time and effort another day. Woohoo! Winning! Okay. Gonna peel and cut up a couple of carrots. And these are just going to be stored with the butternut squash, if they'll fit in the container. If you want to keep them really nice and fresh, add some water to your container and it'll keep it all very nice and fresh. I like this. It's not really sharp, so I'm not really worried about hurting myself like I might with a knife. It's just the crinkles that it has in it. And oddly enough, I don't think the crinkles are meant to be so that you can cut awkward things quickly with little effort and abundance of safety. It's meant to be for if you're, what do we got next? Peel and chunk 1 small onion. I have a massive onion, so I'm just gonna do half of this one. It's meant to be for if you're cutting things for dips and stuff like that, because if you have like just a regular, like say cucumber or something, a lot of the time the dip's gonna slide right off. If you have crinkles in it, then it's actually going to pick up the dip and it's gonna stick to the crinkles. So I believe that's what it's meant for. I gotta empty my garbage. So I do not want the whole onion. Whatever, that seems good. And I'll just put that aside. Find something to use it in. I don't, whatever. So now you can also shred a head of lettuce if you want. I do actually have some lettuce that I do have pre-shredded. So I'm not gonna shred more lettuce because you know what, that would be wasteful, and that kind of defeats the whole purpose of what I'm doing here. One of the nicest things about meal planning, or one of the nice things, because there's so many nice things about it, is that you also reduce waste. You reduce waste, you eat better, you save money. Like, there's literally no downside to any of it. Okay, so I'm gonna make a sauce for the bruschetta pasta. Whew. Really simple sauce if you have a food processor, very easily done. And you know what? It's honestly a delicious sauce. Nice and fresh and all of the good things. If for some reason you don't want to make your own fresh sauce and you're like, you know what, I would rather just buy something in store, do that. Do that. You can take this entire week and look for all the shortcuts that you can. There is no judgment. Or cloves of garlic, because can somebody have too much garlic? I mean, I'm sure you could, but I don't know where that line is. I'm willing to flirt with it. 4 cloves, and for some reason I always feel like counting, like even if I don't say it, it's always going on in my head when I'm doing this. It's like 1, you know, it's like count from Sesame Street. It just always goes through my head. Can't help it. Maybe someday there will be a day where that does not happen. But I kind of hope not. Filling my old twist and chop up pretty high, but that's okay. And some olive oil. If you want to use a different type of oil, you most certainly can. I usually use avocado oil for everything, but I really think that olive oil just gives it a nice flavor. Now just to mix her all up. So I will say this that I'm using right here, my electric twist and chop, I love, 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 love. If I could add one thing to any and everybody's kitchen, it may be this. It is just an extremely efficient food processor. Like the blade moves up and down so that you don't end up with a bunch of like over-processed stuff at the bottom and under-processed stuff at the top. And what's lovely about it as well, man, you'd think I planned on that fitting in there perfectly. I didn't. Wow, I did good. All of this just goes right in the dishwasher. So it makes it a very, very, very easy food processor to work with. Get my lid on. There we go. Next. Okay, gonna grate up some Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna be using this. It's called a cup zester. You can use any fine grater that you have, or you can purchase Parmesan cheese that is already grated. I do like that if you buy your own, it has very little ingredients in it. Tends to taste better. You get more options. And since my kids have been raised on fresh Parmesan, they're probably gonna love, you know, like the Kraft shaker bottle of it instead, but it is what it is. So I want to have about a 1/4 cup-ish. Why I like the cup zester is that it works in all directions, which is kind of a fun little perk. Also, it comes with its own built-in storage. So after I'm done, I can just put the lid on. It's very small to put in the fridge. There is actually measurements on the bottom of this as well. So if I was trying to measure something while I'm doing it, I can just measure all along the way, which is lovely. Okay, so I'm gonna grate some cheese for the Clubhouse Wraps. You can use any kind of cheese that you wanted for this, or you can omit cheese if cheese isn't your thing. If you're laughing at me because cheese isn't, the idea that cheese could just, you know, voluntarily not be someone's thing, whatever, it happens. I never liked cheese. I never did. It was like the weirdest thing because everybody always loved it, and I just never did. So then when I became lactose intolerant and then dairy intolerant, I'm like, don't really miss it. So it's probably a good thing of all people to not like cheese that I didn't like cheese. So this is going to be one that you measure with your heart. It's optional. Measure it with your heart. If you know you like a lot of cheese, lean into that. If not so much, that's okay. My kids will eat half of this while I'm putting their wraps together. I never understand that. Like, the snacking while supper is literally like being plated. I don't, like, okay, yeah, I know you're hungry. I know it's supper time. But dude, clearly making it right now. It's being plated as we speak. Cheese, ready to go. All right, I'm gonna get some of the seasonings ready for the soup. So, a couple tablespoons of brown sugar. I've got maple sugar. You could use coconut sugar. If you want to use maple syrup or honey instead the day of. You can do that instead. Salt. Ginger. And I know it doesn't seem like much. None of these things are huge things that we're doing. They're all very easy. But sometimes when it's coming on evening, you know, you got to get supper on the table. It's maybe not the most productive time of day to be doing it. So just having these things ready that you can just dump and go is all the difference in the world between sticking to a meal plan and not sticking to a meal plan. There we go. We are done with level 2, my friends. We did it. We did that. The very last thing that we have to do, and this is entirely optional, I'm going to add some chicken. I'm going to add some chicken to go with the bruschetta pasta just to give a little more protein. You do not have to if you do not want to. Once again, make it your own, okay? Make it your own. Make it work for your family, because if it doesn't work for you, you're not going to stick with it. Okay, I'm going to butterfly the chicken so that it cooks up a lot faster day of. If you wanted to cook it up now, you could, or if you want to just use some of your, maybe if you're making a turkey breast for your club and you're not going to use it all, you know you're not going to use it all, just chop that up and throw it in your pasta. That's fine too. I'm using a close and cut. So this thing, it's spring loaded on both sides so that it cuts evenly. So that I can butterfly my chicken, which is obviously a very efficient way to cut it. But so you can cut it in perfect even halves without any risk of, you know, slicing myself in the process. So just loads of bonuses. I would throw this in any klutzy person's kitchen. If you have any klutzy issues whatsoever, there we go. Chicken's ready. How you doing, bacon? Ooh. Bacon looks like perfection. Check the turkey. And we are good, my friends. Everything is ready to go. I hope you enjoy the meals this week. I hope I made your week so much easier. And honestly, lean into it when you do feel good about having your supper prepared and ready to go. Because don't think for a minute, this is self-care. This is really self-care that you're doing right now, and I really hope that the peace that you feel at dinner time just translates and trickles through to the rest of your week. And I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.